I had this league game earlier. An early disclaimer: we lost. So obviously, you'd be more frustrated when you lose as opposed to when you win a game. But I feel like it's good to lose sometimes because it gives you definitely learn from when you lose and you learn when you lost. It make you look at certain things. And one thing I noticed in the game, I'm like, I just thought about this after. I'm like, if you somebody that's trying to go overseas or wants to be a professional basketball player, like, and you haven't made it yet, or you like struggling to do it, or there's like no consistency, you have to start looking in the mirror. You have to start, changing things mentally. You don't want to keep being the same player and, keep doing the same things that's not working. Like, that's the definition of insanity. Like, you're trying to be a certain type of player, but that's not your game. Like, I'll use myself for an example. I'm a 6-foot guard. I played shooting guard my whole life, practically. I play off ball, but I'm 6 foot. So it's like, in a professional setting, that's not really gonna cut it. Like, a 6-foot guard, shooting guard is not really, ideal for a professional team. People are 6'5", 6'6", and up. Like, that's more of a point guard. That's more of a point guard status. So it's like, I took the time to learn how to play point guard and learn, what it meant to be a point guard, because obviously I have to score the ball at this height and this size because I've been doing it my whole life. But that's not going to get me to where I ultimately want to be in the game of basketball. So I had to change my mindset mentally and, learn new things and work on my weaknesses. And I feel like a lot of players today, they aren't willing to work on their weaknesses, and that is ultimately what holds them back from reaching the goal they want as far as being professional or going overseas. A lot of people say, I want to go overseas, I'm working to do this or that, but it's like you're not working on your weaknesses. So you're not working on the thing that's going to actually help you get overseas. You're just, stuck in, your mindset that you've had, and you aren't willing to change. So I feel like you're never going to make it if you have that mindset. Like, you got to adapt and grow. And that's one thing I've definitely learned from like playing in the TBL was like, I'm a scorer mentally. Mentally I'm a scorer. I've never really been defensive driven because, I never learned it. And because I never learned it, it was never embedded in me for a long time. So I had to adapt that mindset. That's something that people definitely need to catch on to as well. It's like, you got to do the things that's going to get you a job or that's going to make you better, because at every level requires more of you. You can't do the same things you did in high school and college. You can't do the same things that you did in college when you get into the pro market. It just keeps getting harder. So it's like you have to adapt. You have to be different. How do you say you want to be somewhere, but you're not working on getting to the place you want to get to? You just out here running around, shooting any type of shot, like making any kind of decision, when it's like, that's never going to elevate you. You're always going to be in the same position because you haven't upgraded mentally. You saying you want to do something, but mentally you're not showing it. So it's like, you're never really going to elevate. And even if you do put yourself in front of a coach or a team and you go to a tryout, you're not going to make it because you haven't played in a professional way. You haven't learned how to play a professional way or play your position. So that's just something to think about. If you're going to definitely, pursue a career in basketball, you got to work on your weaknesses. Like, if you're a point guard and you 6 foot, unless you averaging 30 to 40 points a game, you probably should be looking to drive and kick or get your teammates involved and score within the offense, and not just like come down the court trying to break people down and get a bucket, because that's really not going to work at the pro level. It's like, it's just not going to work. You got elite defenders, you got help sides, you got shot blockers at the rim, you got 7-footers at the rim. So it's like, if you're a 6-foot guard, you need to learn how to, come off a ball screen. You need to learn how to, direct traffic. It's like, there's more to the game than just breaking down a defender and getting buckets. And also, if you're a point guard, you definitely need to defend. Like, you need to be able to pick up full court, like pressure the ball. Like, in this, like, basketball is really not if you're looking at the NBA, you could say it's flashy, they getting paid a lot of bread, but it's like, in reality, No, it's really gritty. It's like everybody can score at a certain level. So it's like, who's going to do the little things? Who's going to hit someone like on a box out? Who's going to bust the cutter? Who's going to, get the assist? Who's going to dive on the floor? Who's going to press the ball? Who's going to do those small things? Because everybody can score at that level. So it's just something to think about if you are somebody that's looking to play professionally. And that's just some things that I've learned, like in my journey. I had to adapt. I was not, I'm a great scorer, but at the pro level, you got to be more than a great scorer. You have to do way more than just score the ball. I'm at least at 6 foot. I'm a 6 foot scorer, so it's like I had to learn new skills and I had to be different. I had to really step out my comfort zone. Is that something I really appreciated and learned? So I would definitely recommend that to anybody that's trying to be a professional athlete. Open up your mind. Do what's uncomfortable, because what's comfortable is always going to be there. So, peace.